Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this session of Structural Engineering Design and Detailing. In the previous class, we were seeing the design of intermediate stiffener. What are the different steps involved in the design of intermediate stiffener? We had covered about till step 4. I'll just tell you a small recap. What is the design of intermediate stiffener? In the previous class, as in that problem, he had given all the dimensions of the web and the flange. The thickness of the web was given as 12 mm and the depth of the web was given as 1200 mm, if you can remember. And the size of the flanges were also given. The breadth of the flange was 500 mm and the depth of the flange was about 20 mm. So all these dimensions were given. Now what we had to design, sometimes, as I had told you all, sometimes in some problems it doesn't give you gives you these dimensions. We'll have to find out these dimensions also. So it is very important. You'll have to remember that problem which we had done in design of welded plate girder. In that I had shown you the calculation of designing the web as well as the flange. All those were designed in those steps. So you'll have to follow those steps first, then you'll have to come for the design of intermediate stiffener. So let us just see the step 1 what we had done. In the step 1 we had seen what is the spacing of the stiffener. So in the clause it comes as the spacing should be greater than the depth of the web. In the depth of the web we had it was given in the problem as 1200 mm. So the clause says the spacing should be greater than the depth of the web. So we had taken it as 1500 as the depth of the web was 1200 mm. But this clause also says, further it says that it shouldn't be taken to a such high level, it should be greater than 3 times of d. So as the depth of the web is 1200, 3 times of d will be 3600. So you can't take some value which is greater than 36 mm. You can take it as 2000 or 2500 or 3000, anything, but it shouldn't be greater than 3 times of d. And even this problem I had taken it as 1500, the spacing of the stiffener we had calculated. Next step what we had done was we had calculated the outstand of the stiffener. Even that has been given in the clause in pages I have mentioned in that session, pages also, you can just check it out. Hope you are continuing from there only. Outstand of the stiffener, it says that it shouldn't be greater than 20 TQ epsilon. At least it should be about 14 TQ epsilon. For all practical calculations we had taken it as 14 TQ epsilon, and TQ is the thickness of the stiffener. So we had adopted it as 8 mm. So after substituting those values into the 14 TQ epsilon, I had got the value of 112. So this was the outstand of the stiffener. This is how much the stiffener will come outside from the web. This is what it was meant. Next, what we had calculated the moment of inertia, that is BdQ by capital BdQ by 12 minus small bdQ by 12. We had got some value of around 8000 into 10 cube mm power 4. Then in the clause says that the moment of, and this was the moment of inertia provided. We'll have to check the moment of inertia after calculation which has been given in the clause. That is, if the C by D ratio is less than root 2, one formula has been given for moment of inertia. If the C by root 2 is greater than C by D is less than root 2, then even that formula has been given. We had calculated that from the moment of inertia calculated, that was lesser than the moment of inertia provided. So we will be continuing with the moment of inertia which we are providing. Let us check now. That was step 4 as I remember. Let us check the step 5. What is the buckling check for stiffness? This is the step 5. Now this has been given in page 67. Page 67, IS 800 of 2007. I'll just read it out to you all. You can just see here, page 67, buckling check on intermediate transfer web stiffeners. It says that the stiffeners not subjected to external loads or moments should be checked for a stiffener force. It should be checked for a stiffener force. So it is given as Fq is equal to V minus VCR by by gamma M0, which should be less than or equal to FQD. I'll just write it down here. Fq is equal to V minus of VCR by gamma M0 it should be less than or equal to FQD. Just see here, it says stiffeners not subjected to external loads or moments should be checked for a stiffener force. FQ is equal to V minus VCR by gamma M0. It should be less than or equal to FQD. We'll just calculate all these things separately. FQD, this is the design resistance of the intermediate stiffener. See, this is the design resistance of the intermediate stiffener. We'll just find it out what is this FQD and what is V factored shear force adjacent to the stiffener. This V is factored shear force. VCR, this is shear buckling resistance of the web panel designed without using tension field action. So all this has been given here. Let us see what is FQD. FQD is FCD into A. FQD, this value is FQD is equal to FCD into A. This is given in page 66 also. You can just check here in the page 66, this has been mentioned here in the page 66. You just see clause 8.7.1.5. You can see here in clause 8.7.1.5. I'll just write this clause also. Here clause 8.7.2.5. Okay, let us check here in page 66 what does the clause say. The buckling resistance FQD should be based on the design compressive stress, that is FCD. It should be based on FCD of a strut, the radius of gyration being taken about the axis parallel to web. The effective section is the full area or core area of the section. The effective section is full area or core area of the section. That is why FQD is equal to FCD into A. This is what the clause says. Now we'll have to find out what are these values. You can just see here further if you can read it. The effective section is the full area or core area of the stiffener, together with an effective length of web on each side of the center line of stiffeners limited to 20 times the web thickness. It says that on the both side of the web we'll have to check what is the effective stress on the stiffener on the both side of the web. As we'll be providing the stiffener on the both the sides of the web, we'll have to check what is the stress coming onto the stiffener here. The effective length for intermediate transverse stiffener used in calculating the buckling resistance FQD should be taken as 0.7 times the length of the stiffener. I'll just make it simpler for you all so that you can understand. Lambda is equal to KL by R, and KL is lambda is equal to KL by R, that is 0.7 times of L by R. So this is what lambda, you'll just understand it once we move further. This is given in page 66. Now what is R? R is root of I by A. Radius of gyration, R is radius of gyration. So that is R is equal to root of I by A. R is equal to root of I by A. I is the moment of inertia what we had provided, that is 8761.68 into 10 cube mm4, and A, now this is the area what we'll have to find out. A is the area of the stiffener per area of the web. Now A is I'll just write it here. I is moment of inertia provided, and A is area of stiffener plus area of web. Area of stiffener plus area of web, that we'll just calculate it here. So A is equal to, just see here, area of stiffener, that will be 8 into 112. 8 into 112. This is the area of the stiffener, as we had adopted the stiffener as 8 mm and the outstand we had got it as 112. I've just substituted it here, 8 into 112 plus now we'll have to see what is the area of the web, that is 2 into 20, as clause says, 2 into 20 into T, 2 into 20 times of TW into TW. As the clause says, we'll have to check this. We'll have to check the stiffener, the area of the web around both the sides of the stiffener. Basically what we are doing is, as this stiffener is provided close to the web and it is providing as a resistance against buckling, so we'll have to see what is the stress coming onto the stiffener on both the sides of the web, both the sides, not only at the one side of the web but on both the sides of the web. That is what the clause says. I'll just read it to you again here so that you don't get confused. You can see here the effective section is the full area or core area of the stiffener, together with an effective length of web on each side of the center line of the stiffener, limited to 20 times of web thickness. Both the sides, 20 times of web thickness. Both the sides of the stiffener, 20 times of the web thickness. So TW, that is what it says. The design strength should be used should be the minimum value obtained for buckling about web or stiffener. I'll just substitute these values, then you can understand this. So it is 8 into 112 plus 2 into 20 into thickness of the web. Thickness of the web was 12 into 12. After substituting these values, you can just calculate. I've got it as 6656 mm square. 6656 mm square. This is the area what I'm getting. See, from the clause it says it should be 20 times of thickness of the web, and how much side? Two sides of the web, two sides, both the sides of the web. This should be calculated into area. I'm seeing this, the area of the web. This is what I'm calculating, area of the web. So please be clear here, don't get confused here. It is very simple, just substitute these values. I'm getting it as 6656. I just substitute this value here. I had got it as 8761. So this will be root of 8761.68 into 10 cube by this value 6656. So R, after substituting this values 8761.68, this was the moment of inertia which I had calculated in the previous step, that is the provided moment of inertia. I had got it as 8761.68 into 10 cube. I've just substituted that value, and area I've got from here 6656. If you wanted, I'll just write it more clearly here. R is equal to root of I by A. This is provided, moment of inertia provided. Okay, just substitute this values here, 8761.68 into 10 cube by 6656. 6656. So R is equal to, I've got that value as 36.28 mm. This is the value of R. Now I can just substitute that value over here. R value, I've got it here, 0.7 times of L by R, lambda value. I'll tell you where we'll use this lambda value. In the next steps, we'll need the value of lambda here to calculate this value. We need it to calculate this value. Okay, just here it is, hope this is clear till here. R we have got it as 36.28. We'll just substitute this value here and we'll get the value of lambda also. Just see here. Lambda is equal to K L by R. So this 0.7 into L, 0.7 into L is 1200 by 36.28. This is the value of lambda, 0.7 L by R, L effective. This is what it says, L effective is 1200, that is depth of the web. I have substituted that value here, 36.28 is the R which I have got from that after calculating. This value I am getting it as 23.15. 23.15. This is the value 23.15 of lambda. Now I'll see the table, page 42. I'll just see the table. Page 42. Please see page 42, table 9C. You can see here we have been given the values. The table has been given KL by R value. We have got it as 23.15. You can see here table 9C, design compressive stress FCD for column buckling class, is given as KL by R. One side the KL by R values have been given, and this Fy, yield stress, what we are taking, from that we'll get the value of FCD. This value we want. So for that, to get this value, we'll have to calculate lambda. Lambda is KL by R. KL is 0.7 L times of R. R we have calculated, that's R is equal to root of I provided by A. A is the area of web plus area of stiffener. After getting that value, we have substituted, we have got R value. We have substituted this R value here, 0.7 times of L by R. Lambda value is 23.15. That is KL by R. Lambda is KL by R. I'll just check these values, 20 and 30. Fy I'm taking it as 250. For Fy is 250. KL by R is 23.15. That is lambda. KL by R is equal to 23.15 and Fy is 250 from table 9C. Page 42. We can just see here. I'll just interpolate it here. See, after interpolation, I request you all for the 20 KL by R 20 value for 250 has given it as 224. 224 for 30. He has given it as 211. So after interpolation, I request you all to please do the interpolation. After interpolation, I have got the value as FCD. For FCD, 219.9. FCD after interpolation, I request you all to please do it. This is the value of FCD I have got. So FQD is equal to FCD into A. So till here, I hope this is here. FCD value I have got it here. From where lambda value KL by R from table 9C, page 42. I've just got these values. After interpolation, I've got FCD value as 219.9. I'll just substitute these values. Let us substitute these values here. FCD is 219.9 into area we had got it as 6656. So FQD value I am getting it as 1463.65 kilonewton. So this is FQD value, how I have substituted, how I have calculated. FCD and A I have calculated. I have got FQD as 1463.65. Now I'll have to find out this value V minus VCR by gamma M0. It should be less than or equal to FQD. So we have calculated FQD. Let us see what is V minus VCR by gamma M0. Let us check that now here. As we have calculated FQD value, now we will see what is V minus VCR by gamma M0. Let us check these calculations. Once these calculations are over, we will only need to go for design of the connection between the flange and the web and the intermediate stiffener. Let us see that here. For that, you will have to see page what is V minus VCR. You have to just check this in the page 60. VCR, we have given it as VCR is shear force corresponding to web buckling. VCR is the shear force corresponding to web buckling, that is AW at tau B. VCR is equal to AW by tau B. This is in page 60. You can see here, page 60. Shear force corresponding to web buckling is VCR AW into tau B. Now what is tau B? Shear stress corresponding to web. See, I request here at this place, I request you all, what we'll have to do to calculate this VCR in page 60, a number of formula have been given here. What is tau B? Again he tells that tau B is shear stress corresponding to web buckling. When lambda W is less than equal to 0.8, so first we'll have to find out what is lambda W. For that tau B is different. If it is greater than 0.8, for that tau B is different.
Then what is lambda w? He has given it here. Lambda w is root of fyw by root. So I just you just open this code book. You will see how I calculating this. So first thing what I'll do is we'll, in this code, in this page 60, as he has started from here, area of web into tau b, and a sequence has been given. Here what we'll have to do is, first we'll have to start from here. What is C by D value? If it is less than 1, we'll have to calculate kV. If it is greater than 1, we'll have to calculate kV. Different formula have been given here. I'll just start from here. What is C by D? C by D. As you know, C is
C from this clause here, C by D value, as I have told you, C by D value here I am getting it as 1.25. C by 2 value is 1.25 if it is greater than 1. If C by D value is greater than 1, what we'll have to see is, if C by D is greater than 1, then kV is equal to 5.35 plus 4 by C by D whole square. This is what it says. I'll just substitute these values here. 5.35 plus 4 by C by D is 1500 by 1200 square. So then kV. See if C by D value is greater than 1.211, the clause says kV is 5.35 plus 4 by C by D whole square. 5.35 plus 4 by C by D. C is 1500, D is 1200 by whole square. The value after calculation I have got it as 7.91. 7.91. So kV value I have got it as 7.91. Now further, if you move further, what the clause says is that we'll have to find out the value of tau CRE, the elastic critical shear stress of the web. I'll just write this value of kV somewhere here. I'll store it here. kV is equal to 7.91. Okay. We'll just have to continue calculation of these values one after the other. Sequence has been given here. Let us see now what does the is equal to kV, which I have found out, into pi square into E by 12 into 1 minus mu square into d by Tw whole square. Now this is, we'll have to find out this value now. Now I'll just Poisson's ratio mu, I'll be taking it as 0.5, and pi, you know, that is 3.14, and this E I'll be taking it as 2 into 10 to the power of 5. I'll just substitute these values here. Poisson's ratio I'm taking it as 0.3. Remember that take mu is equal to 0.3, E is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 5, pi is 3.14. I'll just substitute these values here. kV is 7.91 into pi square 3.14 square into 2 into 10 to the power of 5 by 12 into 1 minus mu 0.3 square into d value, as we know, this is depth of the web, that is 1200, and the thickness of the web we had taken it as 12. I'll just substitute that here. See, please don't get confused. Everything has been given in the code book. I'm just substituting these values. Now to come up till VCR, I have a sequence to be followed. First, I had to calculate what is kV. For that, I needed what is C by D value. C by D, if it is greater than 1, some other formula has been given. If it is less than 1, other formula has been given. I got it as 1.25. I've substituted that values. I got the kV value of 7.91. After this, now I had to find out this also. TCRE, that is kV into pi pi square into E by 12 into 1 minus mu whole square into d by t whole square, d by tw whole square. So here pi is 3.14, E is 2 into 10 to the power of 5, and mu Poisson's ratio I'm taking it as 0.3. I'm substituting all these values here. Now after calculation I'm getting that as tau CR is 142.98. This is 142.98. Okay, let us store this value also. Now after getting this value, now what we'll have to find out again is, now we'll have to find out lambda W. Lambda W is equal to FYW by root 3 tau CRE, root 3 tau CRE. Don't get confused here, root 3, it is only root, tau CR into E doesn't come under root. FYW, now this is 250 yield stress. I'll just substitute these values here. So it will be root of 250 Fy, this is the yield stress of web, that is 250 root 3 into tau CRE is 142.98. I'll just substitute that 142.98. After calculation I'm getting that value as 1. I've got that value as 1. This value is 1 what I've got. Now the clause says if this lambda value is greater than, it is between 0.8 to 1.2, then we have some other formula for tau B. For tau B we have some other formula. If it is less than 0.8 we have some other formula for tau B, and if it is greater than 1.2 we have some other formula. So basically our value comes between 0.8 to 1.2. So I'll be taking that formula here. Please try to understand. If you open the code book, you can understand how the sequence I am following it, because I have to come till this value. So tau B, what did I get lambda W value as? Lambda W is equal to 1. Therefore tau B is equal to 1 minus of 0.8 into lambda W minus of 0.8 into FYW by root 3. So this is what, if the tau lambda W value is between 0.8 to 1.2, tau B is, this is what we'll have to substitute. I'll substitute all these values here. It is very simple. 1 minus 0.8 into lambda W value, I got it as 1, again minus 0.8 into FYW is 250 by root 3. So this tau B value, after calculations I got it as 121.24. 121.24 Newton per mm square. This is the value of tau B. So we have reached till here. This is now VCR is area of web into tau B. Tau B value is 121.24. Area of web we know. I'll just substitute now VCR. VCR is equal to area of web into tau B. Area of web is 12 into 1200 into this 121.24. So after calculations I'm getting that value as 1745.85. 1.85 kilonewton. This is the value what I've got it as VCR. So finally we are coming to this. We have already calculated FQD. We have to see whether that this calculation is less than or equal to FQD, then it can resist buckling. So we have come till here. VCR value we have got 1745.85. Let us check what is V and gamma M0. So we'll substitute those values here. Now what is V? This is the shear stress which we had to calculate. In the question it was given, I'll just read it to you all. The question what was given here, it was given Let the span of the girder be 15 meters with a UDL of 50 kilonewton per meter. Here we'll have to find out what is the maximum shear coming onto it. So V is 1.5, this is the factor of safety, into WL by 2. So 1.5 into W is our 50 into L is 15 by 2. This is what, please remember, it is given in question. Let the span of the girder be 15 meter with a UDL of 50 kilonewton per meter. So we are seeing what is the uniformly distributed load coming onto the girder, and depending on that we are calculating this ultimate shear force, maximum shear force. 1.5 into 50 into 15 by 2, if you calculate it, hope you will get this value. So this is the maximum shear force, 1.5 into 50 into 15 by 2, that is 562.5. So V value we have got V value, we have VCR value, gamma M0 is 1.1. I'll just substitute all these values and we'll check whether this is less than or equal to FQD. Let us check it here. (562.5) minus of VCR value 1745, 1745.85 by 1.1. So this value I am getting it as, I'll just check these values, 1075 kilonewton. This is what the value I'm getting it as FQ. Now I'll have to check whether this is less than FQD. FQD value I had got it as 1463.65. This is FQ. So 1075 is less than 1463.65. Therefore it is safe. It is safe against buckling. This design is safe against buckling. So till here it is completed. We are checked for buckling also. If needed, we have to do the design of connections also. We'll be checking that also, design of connections, if that is correct. Hope you all have understood this session till here. I request you all to please go through my videos. You might get some doubts. I request you all, if you practice, all these problems will be very easy. They are very important. If you all go through my videos, we can complete the whole syllabus, or else you won't get the continuity, you won't understand the next session as well. I request you all to please go through the session and please ask me doubts in the comment section. I'll try to reply to you all. Thanks a lot for this session.